You've probably been told your whole life that hard work is the secret to getting rich, right? Well, the ancient strategist Chanakya would have a big problem with that. In this explainer, we're going to unpack his timeless financial wisdom that pretty much turns that entire idea on its head.
And here it is, a core idea from Chanakya that just flips the script on everything we think we know. He's not saying hard work is bad. He's saying that true wealth isn't earned by the sweatiest brow, but by the sharpest mind. It's a total game changer.
And this really gets to the heart of the puzzle Chanakya wanted to solve. Think about it. A laborer can work himself to the bone every single day and just barely get by, while someone else, a king or a savvy merchant who uses their brain, can build an absolute empire. So today, we're going to dig into his answer.
So how did Chanakya break all this down? Well, we've organized his wisdom into 5 key parts. We'll start with developing the right mindset, then move on to actually building your fortune, the secrets to keeping it, how to protect it, and then finally a powerful lesson that ties the whole thing together.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about mindset. Chanakya was absolutely adamant that being rich or poor isn't really about your bank account. It's a condition of your mind. He made this pretty bold claim: if you gave all the money in the world to the poor, it would eventually find its way right back to the rich. Why? Because it's all about how you think.
And this right here lays out the 2 paths so clearly. The worker's path, it has a hard ceiling. I mean, there are only so many hours in a day you can work. But the thinker's path, that's limitless. One is about doing the work. The other is about creating systems so the work gets done for you. Big difference.
So, okay, if it's all a game of intellect, what are the opening moves? How do you actually get started building a fortune from scratch? Chanakya gives us a really clear 3-pillar foundation to stand on. And there they are. See, it's got nothing to do with some magic stock tip or a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about building yourself up, training your eyes to see what others miss, and mastering the one single resource you can never, ever get back: your time. The point of this first pillar is absolutely crucial. Your greatest asset is your own mind, period. Chanakya believed that pouring your time and money into learning is the only investment out there with truly infinite returns. It's time to stop just working with your hands and start putting that incredible brain of yours to work.
Now onto the second pillar. Opportunity is literally everywhere. But you know what? It rarely shows up wearing a sign. It might be disguised as a complaint you overhear, which sparks a brilliant business idea. Or maybe it's a tough problem that everyone else is running away from. And that third pillar, mastering your time, is all about applying your smarts efficiently. Once you get all 3 of these working together, a sharp mind, an eye for hidden chances, and control over your schedule, you're on the path to building real wealth.
All right, let's say you've done it. You've used your intellect, you've seized opportunities, you've managed your time like a pro. The money is starting to come in. Awesome. But according to Chanakya, this is where the real test begins. Earning it is one thing, but keeping it, that's a whole other ballgame.
And that brings us to the next critical phase. It's not enough to just get the money. You have to build an inner fortress to hold on to it. And I'm not talking about bank vaults or security systems. This fortress is all about your own character. You know, the cornerstone of this fortress is a concept Chanakya called sanyam, which means self-control. It's the discipline to fight off all those temptations that pop up when you suddenly have money. You know, the flashy cars, the non-stop parties, the giant ego. Without sanyam, Chanakya said wealth is just like water in a leaky bucket. It'll be gone before you know it.
This slide just illustrates the point perfectly, doesn't it? The lottery winner gets a mountain of cash, but has 0 sanyam to manage it. The disciplined investor, on the other hand, builds both their wealth and the character to handle it. One gets a wild party for a couple of years, the other builds a kingdom that lasts a lifetime.
But listen, your inner fortress isn't something you can build alone in a cave. It needs support from the outside. Chanakya taught that you basically become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your circle is full of negativity and laziness, guess what? They're going to drain your ambition. But if your circle is disciplined, driven, and positive, they're going to lift you higher than you ever thought you could go. Okay, now for a super practical challenge. It feels incredibly modern, but trust me, it's an ancient problem. How do you protect your money from the people you love and care about the most without completely destroying those relationships?
Chanakya's wisdom often comes through in stories, and the tale of Vishnudas is just a perfect, heartbreaking example. He was a good guy, a kind man who just wanted to help out a relative, so he lent them his life savings. but the loan was never paid back. And he didn't just lose his money, he lost his family's security and the very relationship he was trying to save.
To avoid a fate like that, you don't have to become a cold-hearted person. You just need a strategy, a game plan. And Chanakya gave us one, a 5-step defense system, what he called the 5 shields, to handle these requests with wisdom instead of getting swept up by emotion.
The first 3 shields are all about creating some space and getting clarity. First up, you buy time. Never say yes on the spot. This lets that initial high-pressure emotion cool down for both of you. Second, you ask questions. You ask for their plan. This makes them really think it through and shows you if they have a real strategy or just a desperate wish. And third, you ask for some kind of security. This makes it a formal, respectful transaction and shows you value your money.
Now, if they get past those first 3 checks, these last 2 shields give you a graceful way out. Shield 4, the illusion of scarcity, is a simple way to say no without confrontation. You just explain your money is tied up. But if the need is truly genuine and desperate, the final shield is to offer a small gift. It shows you care, it helps them out in a crisis, and it keeps the relationship intact, all while protecting your main fortune.
So after all of this, all these strategies for thinking, for building, for protecting, what's the one single most important lesson that Chanakya wants us to walk away with?
This right here, this is the heart of it all. Protecting your wealth isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect. You see, true relationships are built on mutual respect and care, not on financial transactions. And if saying no to a loan request shatters a relationship, then it probably wasn't a real relationship to begin with. It was just a business deal pretending to be one.
So to wrap up this incredible masterclass from Chanakya, think like a strategist, not like a laborer. Invest in your own mind, because that is your single greatest asset. Build that discipline and self-control before the money starts rolling in. And finally, protect what you've worked so hard to build with intelligence and with foresight. Chanakya's wisdom isn't just some old philosophy to admire from a distance, it's a blueprint for action. So as we finish up here, the real question isn't just what you've learned today, but what are you going to do with it? What's the very first step you're going to take on the thinker's path?